Way beneath her, gasps filled the room as onlookers rushed to her side, the once controlled courtroom now a scene of chaos. Paramedics were called in immediately, their urgency matching the stunned silence of those who had just witnessed the dramatic turn of events. Behar, known for her quick wit and sharp commentary, now lay motionless as the weight of the moment pressed upon everyone present. What had started as a routine sentencing had transformed into an unforgettable spectacle, leaving questions swirling and emotions running high. Way beneath her, the gas from those. It looks like your text cuts off at the end. Would you like me to continue it or rewrite it with a different tone or structure? Let me know how you'd like it refined. Behar evolved into a fierce advocate. The weight of the moment filled the room as silence settled over the stunned crowd. What could have triggered such a visceral reaction? Was it the severity of the sentence or something far more personal? Onlookers rushed to her side as the reality of the situation sank in, unfolding faster than anyone could have anticipated. Behar, a name synonymous with bold opinions and razor-sharp wit, had built a career on fearless commentary. She first captured the public's attention as a stand-up comedian, using her quick humor to engage audiences. But it was her tenure as a co-host on The View that truly cemented her status as a cultural force. With her candid nature and unapologetic views, she became a champion of progressive causes and a fierce advocate for women's rights, earning a loyal fan base along the way. Yet, despite her success and influence, not even the most celebrated public figures are immune to scandal. The world watched in shock as Behar found herself at the center of a courtroom battle, facing legal troubles no one saw coming. How did a beloved television personality go from the bright lights of The View to the harsh reality of a criminal trial? Speculation ran wild when news broke that Behar was embroiled in a highly publicized defamation lawsuit. In this fictional scenario, she had allegedly made controversial remarks during a live broadcast, targeting a powerful entertainment industry figure. The lawsuit accused her of tarnishing the individual's reputation, leading to both professional and financial fallout. But this case was about more than just words. It was about the emotional toll and lasting damage inflicted. As the trial commenced, the courtroom brimmed with reporters, spectators, and even a few unexpected witnesses. The stakes were sky high, and the pressure mounted with each passing day. Was this the end of Behar's career? Had her words truly crossed the line, or was she simply being silenced for speaking her truth out of context? The stakes were high, and the media was already in a frenzy, speculating wildly about what would happen next. Could Behar salvage her career and reputation, or would this scandal overshadow everything she had worked for? The public's reaction to Behar's legal troubles was swift and intense. Fans and critics alike were glued to the news, watching as the trial unfolded with new revelations surfacing almost daily. Media outlets scrambled to cover every angle of the case, scouring her past for any clue that could suggest guilt or innocence. But the deeper they dug, the more complicated the situation became. Some supporters rushed to Behar's defense, pointing to her long history of advocating for truth and justice. She's always been outspoken. Does that make her a criminal? They asked. Others, however, were more skeptical. Had her sharp tongue finally crossed a line? Was this the consequence of her fearless public persona? As the trial gained momentum, the internet erupted in debate. Social media platforms buzzed with hashtags like #supportingbehar, while others took to Twitter to express their shock and disappointment. The controversy only intensified, fueling speculation about what would happen when the verdict was finally handed down. Was this more than just a legal proceeding? Would it become a story of redemption or destruction? The day of the trial arrived, and the courtroom brimmed with anticipation. The walls seemed to close in, thick with tension, as those gathered realized that this day could change everything for Behar. Her legal team, comprised of some of the most renowned defense attorneys in the business, sat confidently at their table, prepared for whatever the prosecution had in store. Across from them, the opposing counsel looked equally determined to make the charges stick. Then, Behar entered the room. Her face was a mix of determination and anxiety. She was flanked by a small group of supporters, family members, and a few close friends from her years in the industry. Fans had hoped for a moment of triumph, but the grim expressions of those around her only added to the weight of the moment. Judge Hernandez, a seasoned figure with a reputation for being tough but fair, called the courtroom to order. His stern gaze swept across the room before settling on Behar. Her eyes, usually filled with fire and confidence, now flickered with nervous energy. Would this be the end of her career, or was there still a path to redemption? The prosecution wasted no time, launching into their argument with a scathing portrayal of Behar as reckless and irresponsible individual whose words had caused. The prosecution painted Joy Behar as reckless and irresponsible, arguing that her words had caused irreparable harm. But her defense attorney was quick to counter, emphasizing the broader context of her remarks and the fundamental right to free speech. The courtroom became a battleground of fierce debate, each side presenting its case with conviction. Yet, as the arguments raged on, the tension only escalated. As the hours wore on, the emotional strain on Behar became evident. Seated at the defense table, her hands clasped tightly together, she occasionally glanced at her lawyer for reassurance. But deep down, the weight of uncertainty bore down on her. Could she handle whatever was coming next? The supporters in the gallery were equally on edge. Some exchanged worried glances, while others whispered among themselves, their voices barely audible over the hushed tension in the room. Would Behar be able to maintain her composure when the moment of reckoning arrived? Was there hope for a more lenient sentence, or was she about to face the full force of the law? The moments leading up to the verdict stretched into what felt like an eternity. Behar sat motionless, her eyes fixed on the judge as he prepared to speak. There was no turning back now. Whatever happened in this moment would define her future. Judge Hernandez stood, his expression unreadable. The courtroom collectively held its breath, the air thick with anticipation. Would she be sentenced to prison? Would she be forced to pay a heavy fine? Or would there be a lesser punishment, one that would allow her to rebuild her life? Behar didn't move at first. Her face was frozen in a mixture of shock and disbelief. The sentence was harsher than anyone had expected, and for a moment, it seemed as though the weight of it might crush her entirely. Though the world had stopped and then it. The entire courtroom was plunged into stunned silence as Joy Behar collapsed in her seat, her body slumping as if the weight of the world had suddenly crushed her. Gasps filled the room. The suddenness of it sent a shockwave through everyone present. Was it the unbearable stress of the trial finally catching up with her, or was something more serious at play? Her legal team sprang into action, rushing to her side. Paramedics were called immediately, their urgency matching the growing concern in the courtroom. The atmosphere, once charged with tension, was now thick with worry. "Is she okay?" someone murmured from the gallery. Others exchanged anxious glances as reporters scrambled to capture the dramatic turn of events. Cameras flashed, pens scratched across notepads, and hushed conversations filled the air. Behar's family and friends looked on, their faces etched with deep concern. The scene was chaotic. Whispers spread like wildfire, speculation ran rampant. Had the verdict truly broken her, or was there something more beneath the surface? This moment was chilling, and for Joy Behar, it might just be the turning point that would change everything. As she lay motionless, the once orderly courtroom became a scene of uncertainty and fear. The question on everyone's mind was no longer about guilt or innocence. Now, it was simple yet urgent. Staff reacted instantly. Medical personnel rushed to the scene, and within moments, emergency responders were on the floor, quickly assessing Joy Behar's condition. Just minutes earlier, she had been sitting upright, listening intently as the verdict was delivered. Now, she appeared unconscious, and panic spread rapidly through the courtroom. Was this the final chapter of her public career? Or could she somehow stage a dramatic comeback after this shocking collapse? Speculation ran wild, but for now, all focus had shifted to her health. Emergency responders carefully lifted Behar onto a stretcher, their movements swift yet cautious. Every second of the tense scene was caught on camera, broadcast live across networks and splashed across social media in real time. The world watched as she was wheeled out of the courtroom, the weight of the moment sinking in. A media frenzy erupted outside the courthouse, reporters scrambling to cover the breaking news. Questions swirled, but no one had answers. What had caused her collapse? Was it pure stress or something more? And most importantly, what would happen next? It felt like something straight out of a movie. Joy Behar, a towering figure in television, known for her outspoken and larger-than-life presence, had collapsed in the middle of a high-profile trial. The shock value was undeniable. Was this really happening? As the news spread, one question dominated conversations everywhere. Is Joy Behar okay? Her legal team swiftly issued a brief statement, asking for privacy while her condition was being assessed. But with so few details, speculation ran rampant. Just how serious was this? Meanwhile, her family, some present in the courtroom, others watching from home, were visibly shaken. Fans across the world, who had come to know Behar as a feisty and resilient personality, were left reeling. The haunting image of her collapse played over and over in their minds. Would this be the last time they saw her? In the wake of the collapse, the media frenzy reached levels beyond anything the trial itself had seen. News outlets that had been laser-focused on the legal battle, the defense strategy, the prosecutor's arguments, the case's twists and turns, suddenly pivoted to a new and urgent narrative: Joy Behar's health crisis. Breaking news: Joy Behar collapses in court. Trending now. Is this the end of Joy Behar's career? The headlines flooded in, endless and relentless. The courtroom drama had been overshadowed in an instant. But the story took on another layer of controversy. While some media outlets focused on Behar's medical condition, others questioned the timing of her collapse. Was it a genuine medical emergency, or a strategic move to delay the inevitable? Pundits debated, conspiracy theories swirled, and the public's thirst for answers only intensified. Celebrities and public figures, many of whom had remained silent throughout the trial, suddenly began speaking out. Some took to social media to express their concern and well wishes, while some celebrities and public figures reached out directly to Behar's legal team, offering their support. But the response was mixed, and a sharp divide began to form. Was Behar truly in danger, or was this a carefully orchestrated moment of drama to sway public opinion? Her legal team wasted no time addressing the situation, but their statement was measured and cautious. Stepping before a crowd of reporters, her attorney, a seasoned professional with an unshakable demeanor, spoke briefly. Joy's health is our top priority right now. We are doing everything we can to ensure she receives the best care possible. We appreciate your understanding during this time and ask that you respect her privacy. It was a predictable response, carefully crafted to quell both concern and speculation. But despite the reassurance, one major question loomed over everything. What about the trial? With Behar's dramatic collapse, court proceedings had to be suspended immediately. Judge Hernandez quickly declared a recess, but no timeline was given for when, or if, the trial would resume. This left everyone wondering, could this delay alter the course of her legal fate? Behar's health was, without question, a valid concern. But was this sudden crisis just an unfortunate turn of events, or could it be a game changer? In the weeks that followed, her legal team remained tight-lipped. No new statements were issued, and no one from her camp hinted at whether she would return to court, or even make a public statement about her health. As days passed with no updates, tension around the case only grew. Fans and critics alike were left to speculate wildly, fueling endless debates and theories about what was really happening behind the scenes. The courtroom drama had spilled over into something bigger, a spectacle that extended far beyond the law. Social media exploded in reaction, with emotions running the gamut from concern and confusion to outright outrage. The hashtag #PrayForJoyBehar trended worldwide, with many fans offering heartfelt messages of support. But not everyone was so sympathetic. Some questioned the authenticity of the collapse. Was it all an act to manipulate the court's sympathy? A few skeptics wondered aloud. Others even suggested that Behar might be exaggerating her condition to avoid facing the consequences of her legal troubles. The viral nature of social media only amplified the spectacle. Memes flooded the internet, some mocking the situation entirely. Joy Behar, professional host and professional drama queen, one meme quipped, while others pointed out the irony of a woman known for her bold commentary now being at the center of her own media circus. The mix of heartfelt messages and cynical humor only added to the strange and surreal atmosphere surrounding the collapse. The moment had transcended beyond a health crisis. It was now a subject of viral content. And amid the chaos and digital noise, the key question remained: how would this affect Behar's future? Fans speculated wildly. Would the collapse push Behar into retirement from public life altogether? Or was this just another dramatic chapter in her storied career? While the media and social media buzzed with gossip, there was still the pressing matter of Behar's legal fate. What did this unexpected collapse mean for her sentence? Could it have any bearing on her future? The legal implications